So there we go. We are live again. So we're going to go ahead and try this. Take two of the Alamo City Sportscast. So I'm your host here, Joe Garcia. I'm going to be joined again, like I said, by the one and only Rudy Campos Jr. Rudy, thank you for joining us. You're joining us remotely, just like Jeff does most of the time when he's a guest here, man. So how's it going for you?
Good. You know how us billionaires are, Joe. We're always on the road. We're always traveling, and all this stuff. So as long as I can do it remotely, I'm proud to do it whenever I can, man.
Yeah, no, that's Jeff Garcia, Moneybags, dude. Moneybags is on his private jet somewhere. You know, that's what
Yeah.
that's what they're gonna think you're at. You hear a little road noise, and think Rudy's on his private jet, flying off to some faraway location.
Well, the difference between Jeff and I is I'm low key about all the billions and billions that I have. Jeff isn't. He shows off the nerd stuff and all the stuff he gets. I don't.
Yeah, we're back, guys. So we're back, boys. So we have Christopher Leja joining us, Mike Baez. Christopher Leja was saying, "Hey, what's up, Tim?" Christopher was saying thanks for all the support for his raffle that he was holding yesterday. And man, I just wanted to buy a fucking number, bro. Like I kept trying. Every time I would tell Chris, "Hey, is number 73 available?" No, it's taken. What about 60? What about this? No, it's taken. It's taken. It's taken. I'm like, Yahweh, I just want to buy a number. Everybody's like, hey man, just give Joe a freaking number, Chris.
But that's a good thing though. If there's no numbers available, that's a good thing.
It's good.
That means it's selling out.
Yeah, I had to call him, man. I had to call the brother up. I'm like, mira, wait, what's available, bro? I'm willing to throw some money at you, but you got to give me something. Dame algo, vato, So
yeah, shout out to Chris, man. Shout out to Chris. Hopefully he fills that up pretty quick.
Yeah, dude, that thing was moving fast, bro. I was on the phone. I'm like, hey, give me 74. Hey, bro, yata, it's taken already. I'm like, no, mames, dude. I sent him that gif, and I was like, I'm the captain now. I'm the captain now. I'm like, I'm taking over this thing, dude. But it's good that he was able to sell all the squares. So, for the raffle. So now they're going to see who's going to win what. And we're making fun because we're like, all the guys in yellow, Spuddle Spurs Twitter, somebody in the yellow is going to win, So that's what we're pulling for.
So. I really hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, look at him. He says he sold out. He's like, we sold out to y'all holding it down. It's like, yeah, man, you put that stuff on Spurs Twitter, bro. It's going to go out quick, man. So one of the things that we're going to talk about right off the bat, man, is something that's been making waves, dude, here in the Alamo City. And that started, I believe, on Tuesday evening is when I kind of saw these pictures being leaked out here. So I'm just going to share it. I saw that Mark Brunette, give him credit. He's the one that was leaking the photos. And here's our boy, Chris Leja. And Chris was saying, sometimes you got to know where you've been to know where you're going. Could this be a hint of a new arena, he says, going back to downtown? So they're referencing the Hemisphere World's Fair, the leaked pictures of the photos, courtesy of one Mark Brunette. And basically they're just showing that, hey, it's going to be a harken back to the 1968 Hemisphere World's Fair. And of course they have those pastel colors, kind of that Western style font. You have the Tower of Americas that's right smack in the middle, And you can see right smack in the middle of the court, and it has like the little sun rays coming out, kind of a Western kind of theme. And it's been a mixed bag with Spurs fans here. They don't really know how to feel about it, because, this is from a bygone era. It is part of San Antonio's history, but is it too, like, going too far back, And not only that, but it's okay to do that. But the way that the color scheme is, it doesn't really match up with what San Antonio Spurs fans are familiar with. They're familiar with the Spurs Fiesta colors. They're familiar with the silver and black. But this time, the Spurs are taking a different direction. And it's been received with a mixed reaction from San Antonio Spurs fans. I know you've seen these pictures as well. What were your thoughts when you saw this?
I actually, you know what? I'm probably one of the few that actually enjoyed it. I like the vibrant colors. I like the throwback stuff where, you're getting, like you said, mentions of the old Hemisphere Arena. It brought a lot of, I guess, smiles to my face because growing up, it was, Spurs basketball in the Hemisphere Arena. Downtown was, the mecca for basketball in San Antonio. And it just brought back memories, man. And I love the color scheme, and it's going to take some time for current fans to get used to it because you're so used to the silver and black. But not to forget, a lot of people had to get used to the Fiesta colors as well when they came out. So it's something that I don't have a problem with. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm excited to see this court in action. So yeah, no problem with me whatsoever.
Yeah, and the thing is too, like this started a firestorm. So the other part of this that we're going to talk about is Mark Burnett, diehard San Antonio Spurs fan, goes and shows his support for the team. He's
Yeah,
always getting like tattoos of the San Antonio Spurs. He's got tattoos on his arm of autographs from Coach Pops to some of the other players on his arms.
yeah,
And he travels. He's traveling out there to the basketball Hall of Fame and all that to see Coach Pop inducted. As well as Tony Parker and Becky Hammond. But the thing with this is like the one who originally posted the first photo. He put it up there. Then he says that his Spurs rep contacted him to go and have the photo removed. So I'm like, okay, man. Once you put something out there on social media, it's out there. Whether you take it down or not, somebody's already grabbed a screenshot of that photo and they're going to put it
exactly.
out there in the ether. And that's exactly what happened. He released this photo and he says, oh, one of the employees went ahead and, took photos of the court and sent it to him. They wanted him to leak it out or what have you. Spurs, he says, called him and said, hey, take the photo down. At the end of the day, once you, like I said, you put it out on the internet or you put it out on social media, it's out there. There's no way that that's coming back down. So the thing
Yeah.
is, if the Spurs winded up contacting you because of a photo you released and they didn't like it because it was leaking something that they wanted to keep a secret, would you remove it, Rudy?
Well, it's a tough thing, Joe, because if it was me and I worked for the Spurs and they said take it down, obviously that's job security type thing there. So definitely like, okay, I get it, my bad, I'll take it down. But if it's a fan type thing and you leak the photo, I mean, you know what? It's your call. Personally, me, I probably wouldn't remove it because, in the world of likes, which I'm gonna be real with you, I don't buy into the whole new society of, everything for likes. I'm taking out my phone and I'm watching two guys fight because I want to get, 15,000, 16,000 likes and impressions and all that. I'm not about that life. But if I get something and I leak it, then you know what? I leak it. Big deal. It's been leaked. The reason why you said it is because the moment that screenshot or that photo is posted, it's like a virus. It's like an old
Yeah.
LimeWare virus, Joe. When you download something, it attacks everything. So everybody's getting that same screenshot, that same photo from you. The Spurs aren't going to ask everybody to take it down because you know what? It's already a firestorm. It's everywhere now. So why remove it? If they ask you to remove it, okay, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to remove it. It's already out there.
Yeah, it's
Unless you're
out
going to
there.
tell all 20,000 people that have it now in the matter of a couple of minutes, why should I remove it?
Exactly, man. Like, he should have just kept it up. Honestly, he should have just kept it up. You already leaked it. Just keep it up. I mean, what are they going to do to you? They're not going to allow you to come out and, go to Spurs games anymore. They're not going to want to do an interview with you. Like TNT's not going to want to interview the guy. It's like what really at the end of the day can they do to you other than just say, "Hey, can you take it down?" Spurs, maybe you should do better. Maybe you should go ahead and start releasing these pictures ahead of time and start teasing what's going to happen instead of trying to keep everything like it's the greatest secret in the world. Like the government keeping aliens, the existence of aliens away from everybody. Like, come on, man, just go out there, do the right thing, start teasing this stuff sooner. Don't be the last fucking team every goddamn year that releases the city edition jerseys, that releases the city edition court right after the season's already begun. Come on, man, do better than that. If you don't
And
want photos getting leaked, I mean, they can tease them, right, Rudy?
yeah, TNT's a media hub. So best be damn sure if ESPN, if TNT, if KSAT 12, anybody was to get photos like this, you think they would not link them? I mean, it's you know what? It's a media's world, and in the media world, you and I both know the first one to get it leaked is the first one that gets the credit for it, and the first one
Yeah.
that gets noticed.
look
So
at
you have to be first.
look at Chris Leia. This shit has me cracking up. He says, "What gets me too is all the ones resharing it, not giving him credit." He's talking about Mark Burnett. They're not giving him credit for his photo. He says that
100%.
That bum Spurs Jesus is one of them. Bro, that motherfucker is gonna want to sell you the damn photo, even though he didn't take it. That's just who he is, man. Like,
100%, man. I used to deal with that a lot, where we would share something and never get credit for it. And what's funny is, remember back when Boogie Cousins was coming to, they were rumored that he was going to come to the Spurs, and if you drove past Austin, I believe in the Kyle, they had that billboard with Boogie Cousins in a Spurs jersey. Well, I remember I drove out there for Jeff Garcia for Locked On Spurs, and I took some coverage for it. I took video, I took pictures.
yeah,
He shared it out, and he gave me credit. Well, somebody on Reddit decided to use my photos, and I contacted them, and they gave me a whole shitstorm of like, you really created a Reddit account just to come at us and say, not to give you credit. I said, bro, that's my shit. That's my personal shit.
yeah,
So give me credit. And that's what Chris saying. You've got to give credit where credit is due
exactly,
every time.
exactly, man. And that's the thing. Like, if you're gonna reshare somebody's photo or anything, just give the dude credit. Like, even if you have a podcast, a live stream, whatever you're doing, as long as you're giving, hey, I'm sharing this, you're giving full credit to the actual creator of whatever it might be, a photo, a video, whatever it might be. Give them credit, man. They put in the work. They have these contacts out there, just like Mark Burnett does, and he's just sharing the photo. But you know what? I kind of agree with him, and I agree with you. If you have a photo and you leaked it out there, it's out there, man. What are the Spurs going to do to you at the end of the day? They're gonna lawyer up. They're gonna try and sue the little people. I mean, come on, man. Just keep it out
And
there.
at that, if it, say it does come down to legal action,
Yeah,
and it really does come down to, hey, we didn't want this leaked, we don't want that. Technically, I mean, I'm no lawyer, but I would think that Mark wouldn't even get anything done, because he wasn't, unless he was there taking the photo,
yeah. He didn't do nothing wrong.
he didn't do anything wrong. It was just shared to him. So,
Yeah,
I mean, that's like if, hey man, if Jimenez shared a nude photo with you, Joe, and you have it, I mean, you can send that out thinking it was maybe for someone else. I mean,
bro.
you technically leaked it because it was leaked, right?
I don't think
I mean,
anybody, if somebody would pay me not to leak that damn photo. I promise you, bro. And speaking of him, you know what? We've got to give credit where credit is due, man. And we got to give credit to my man over here on Twitter, Swiss, at Midwest Man Myth. Here he goes again, man. He's on point, dude, with these memes. He released a photo of Mike as, Skip Bayless. As he goes, because Skip posted a photo of himself wearing the gold Jordans, and he says Drip
yeah,
Bayless. And of course, we call Mike Skip Menace, so
yeah,
the resemblance is uncanny, man. I got to say. He's wearing the gold
yeah.
chain and everything, dude. So
I've seen him.
Skip Menace. So I got to give credit to my boy there, man. He's always quick with the memes, man. But I like the fact that at least the photos out there, and then I believe it was Ty Yeager who went ahead. Yeah, it was Ty Yeager. I saw it on Twitter. He went ahead and released kind of a rendering of what he believes, to be, I guess, what the Spurs are going to be releasing as far as the City Edition jersey. So if you want to see that, make sure you're going to check out Ty Yeager on Twitter, or the X, like they call it now. But it just seems like they're going with that Western theme. Like, again, it's a mixed bag, lighter colors, pastel colors. I kind of released photos along with the court, kind of showing what maybe, merchandise might look like as far as the hats and stuff, lighter pastel coloring, things of that nature.
Yeah,
Some fans liked it, some fans didn't, and I think it's the Spurs just shooting their shot, trying something different beyond just the Fiesta colors. And like you said, when the Spurs first rolled out the Fiesta colors, not everybody was a fan of it, and it took some time to get used to. So I think Spurs fans are going to have to start getting used to the Spurs trying something different besides just the Fiesta colors. They're going to probably look into, San Antonio Spurs history and try to go ahead and, pay homage to what came before, the San Antonio Spurs were here and what was iconic in the city back in the day. So I kind of like the direction They're going.
Yeah.
I think they can get better with every rendition that comes out. But right now, it's just a different take on City Edition jerseys for Spurs fans. So they're feeling a certain way, you know. But
And the one thing I would love for the Spurs to do is if you want to go throwback, not too long ago, remember they released the Chaparral jerseys because they were obviously the Dallas Chaparral jerseys. That was amazing. I love that. But where they failed to do it was if you're going to do that, great. But if you're going to go Spurs history and you want to do something on the court, why not go back when Gervin and Silas and then were playing? Remember when they had the white baseline with the red painted area and the black trim?
Yeah, the red, white, and blue ball. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you probably can't use the ABA ball, but you can still use the ABA court that you had, and I think that would be amazing to do for an NBA court for the Spurs. And you know what? You have perfect times to do it. Do it against Indiana, a former ABA team. Do it against Denver, a former ABA team. You know, do it against those teams. So you're not doing it, you know, random times of the year. You're going back to the ABA days, and that's where I would love to see them do some kind of rendition. And if you don't bring back the Chaparral jerseys, no worries. Bring back that old iconic, you know, Spurs logo with the U is, you know, it has that different shape and it's got the Spurs sticking out. So definitely can do something like that. I think maybe next year or the year after.
Man, just give me the old school Hemisphere court from the OG from back in the day, the blue court. You know, I want to see that.
Court,
that's beautiful. God, and, you know, or bring back the Alamo Dome court, you know, the teal and the, you know, what is it? The teal and the turquoise. And they had the city, it said San Antonio on the side of on the court when you would go see the games at the Alamo Dome. Bring that stuff back, man. Like, fans are nostalgic for that kind of stuff. And the Spurs, sometimes they miss the mark. I think this is going to be one of the times they're going to miss the mark. While the merchandise, we'll see if they're going to be able to make up for it. I just think they're missing the opportunity to really capitalize on what fans want, because that's the thing with the Spurs is that the fans tell them what they want, and the Spurs say, no, we're going to do what we want to do, you know? And the thing is that the fans are still going to go buy the merchandise. So if you really don't like something, don't buy the merch. Don't support it. You know, say, I don't like it. I don't want to go ahead and support this because I don't like the way it looks. But that doesn't happen. Spurs fans are always going to support the team because we're a good fan base here. So the Spurs are just going to keep doing what they want to do, whether we like it or not, you know? So it's one of those things, man. But
and I don't think it's going to be a miss, Joe. I actually, like I said, I like it in a random type of way, because
man, it's giving me Toy Story vibes, bro. Really, like I'm thinking that freaking Woody's going to come out on the court or something, you know?
I'm not. This isn't my favorite one, but you know what? It has that random, like, okay, they really did this type of vibe. Let me see where it goes with it. And you know, it's not me being a Spurs, you know, super fan or anything like that. It's just me being real. Like I'd like to give it a shot. I want to see where it goes from here.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I mean, it's going to be a different take. It's from a different era, from 1968, bro. We weren't even born. I wasn't even born then, you know? So
I don't even think I was even a little egg in my pop's, you know, sperm bank. So
this was before Jeff Garcia's time too, the OG.
Yeah.
Hey, but let's go ahead and get into some other talk here, man, because we got a lot of things to talk about now. Moving on from Spurs talk. Well, not really moving on, but I'm going to share another photo before we get off the topic of something that I saw with Victor Wembanyama, man. And I thought this was pretty cool. I got it from Legion Hoops, right, on Twitter, on the X. And it was an excerpt from what, you know, Wembanyama had to say. And it says, Victor Wembanyama on his rookie season. The ideal start would already be the playoffs. But I'm patient, and I know it'll happen. Not winning my first few years is a no-brainer to becoming a Hall of Famer or winning 5 later. He's already sounding like a stereotypical San Antonio Spurs player, you know? So I like what he has to say. He knows that it's a process and you got to be patient, you know? So, I mean, what did you think of his comments? Does he already sound like he's beyond his years, you know, not like just some rookie coming into the NBA?
You know, when it comes to Victor, I applaud his confidence. I really do. And there's no reason why anybody playing in the league should not be confident. You know, and making the playoffs obviously is a huge thing for them. That's where they want to be at. Will they be in there next season? Chances are probably not. I mean, they would need to make a 22 game turnaround from last season to even have a chance to make the play-in game, and let alone the playoffs. So there's nothing wrong with confidence. I love the confidence in the kid. He brought a new vibe, a breath of fresh air to San Antonio. We got to see how he actually does, and with the current roster assembled. But on Jeff's podcast recently, I did talk about this with him, and in order for them to really be playoff tournament, like playoff team, maybe a play-in tournament type team, they've got to make a move. And the current roster as structured does not necessarily give them even play-in vibes. So they've got to make a move for a superstar, at least a player that's on superstar, on the edge of being a superstar, in order to get the needle moving to where, okay, I think they're legitimately a play-in team. But nothing wrong with his confidence, man. I mean, come in confident as hell, because you never know what can happen. Injuries are part of the game. Injuries could derail a lot of teams, so it gives the Spurs a little bit more of an opportunity. So who knows? It's still a season of unknowns and what ifs coming up.
It is, man. And I kind of like what Wembanyama has to say. And the thing is, too, with San Antonio Spurs fans, is I always say enjoy the season for what it is. And this season is just going to be the start of the Wemby era here in San Antonio. And much like if you go down and you look at see what happened during, pivotal moments in Spurs history, when the Spurs went ahead and won the first pick in the NBA draft and they drafted David Robinson, we had to wait 2 years for him to come over. Once he came over, it was an immediate impact. Spurs had one of the best turnarounds ever in NBA history. And they went in, they won a shit ton of games. They started, going into the playoffs. And, there was a lot of disappointment still. There was a lot of growing pains and everything that needs to happen. And that's pretty much what's going to happen with this start of the Wemby era. It's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting to watch. My expectations are I'm just going to enjoy the season for what it is, have fun, the start of the Wemby era. And if the team wins or loses, I'm still going to support and enjoy it. But if history has taught us anything, it's this. Don't get used to players. I keep telling fans that, and they seem to not want to listen sometimes. And if you look and see what happened in Spurs history, nobody ever thought that Sean Elliott would get traded. He got traded. Yeah. Nobody ever thought Malik Rose would get traded. He got traded. Bruce Bowen, nobody thought, he's going to retire as a San Antonio Spur. He got traded, and then he decided to retire. So it's like, no matter how much of a fan favorite a player is, at the end of the day, it's a business. And with that said, there's a player that I have my eye on who I think still doesn't fit the Spurs' current trajectory. I'm not going to say anything because I'm not going to start a firestorm here. But when I do go ahead and talk Spurs, maybe this week on the Two Shots podcast, where we talk nothing but San Antonio Spurs, we just might go ahead and not leak, but talk about said player. So all I'm saying is, Spurs fans, get ready, because now that the Wemby era is here, there's going to be some changes made. And again, some of your fan favorites, they might not be here, Rudy. I mean, you've seen that firsthand. I mean, what do you think?
In order to make an impact, you've got, and I hate to use the old cliche so much, the old saying that, in order to make an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. But I've always treated the league, and I treat every single sport that I cover as a business, and I go to the business side. I'm a diehard Spurs fan, diehard Falcon, Tar Heel, all that stuff. But you know what? At the end of the day, in order for a team to be successful, they've got to take chances. They've got to take opportunities. And you'll see that a lot. I mean, let's not forget, one of the four guys on, the Mount Rushmore of Spurs has been traded. He was traded from the Spurs, albeit at the end of his career, but George Gervin was traded to the Chicago Bulls at the end of his career. So you're always, as a business, you're always trying to improve your business. You're always trying to make changes to be successful. And if a fan favorite, and if it's a Devin, if it's Keldon, if it's somebody, and if it's a Jeremy Sohan, even though he's only had a year here, if you're going to get a bona fide on the cusp superstar or an already made superstar to go alongside what you're building, you have to really kick the tires on that and see what can be done. because one guy that I've named a lot and who I think would be a perfect fit for the Spurs is Pascal Siakam. And he's not going to be in Toronto forever. So I think that's one guy you can probably get. And when I say discounted, I'm talking possibly giving up one of the many first-round picks you've collected. Also, maybe a guy like a Keldon Johnson could be, on the move there. But he's on the cusp of being, a major star in the league, and he's already a star. But I think he fits the mold. I think he would be a good guy to look at. But you're right, Joe. It's going to take some movement to get this team to be instant successful. Now, if everybody's willing to wait, see how things pan out, it's going to take a lot longer. So you're definitely going to have to move on from some pieces to make it a playoff team or a play-in team like right away.
Yeah, man. And I think what's going to happen too is that Spurs fans need to find out what direction the team is going to want to move in this coming season. So if let's say the team starts making moves and starts trading away some of their veteran players, that means that they still want to be a lottery team, that they're still wanting to go ahead and go into the lottery to go ahead and get another piece to put alongside Wemby, and they have picks in the upcoming years. So, they can go ahead and either decide to move up, move down, whatever they feel that they need to do. But either way, let's go ahead and just enjoy the season and look and see what type of movement the front office is making. That's going to indicate the direction of the team and what they want to do this coming season. But again, you can feel it in the air, Rudy. There's a change coming, and I think Spurs fans, that's what they're very excited about.
Yeah, there's a change now. Again, the changes, it's going to happen. I mean, you've got what's good about the Spurs is that people see the future and they're saying, God, we got all these draft picks and we've got, a young core and we got this. We have money. There's money available. Well, you've got to look at the other side of the wall. And that side of the wall is you have so many assets to go out and get a player right now. You have the cap space to go out and sign a player right now. If you've got a guy and again, I don't foresee this happening, but if you've got a guy like Giannis Antetokounmpo who does not, and I think today is the day that he needs to make his decision. If he doesn't extend or go for that contract extension, you have the same type of replay that Kevin Durant had with OKC. Finish out his career and then test free agency. So you have the money to go after him. You have the assets to possibly trade for him and still give him that extension that he's looking for. So don't just feel like because we've got all these draft picks and the Spurs have all this money that it's building it. Oh, we're going to build our team. Yeah, you're going to build it, but you're going to also use those assets to get a player that you're needing right now. So it's a type of thing where it's a good situation. You can wait for everything to develop, or you can go out and make something happen right now.
Yeah. And we're going to talk about this too. The naming rights for the former AT&T Center have already officially been transferred over to Frost. So from this moment on, it's going to be referred to as the Frost Bank Center. So we've already seen the merchandise that fans want to see. And I think it was Mike Baez from Bear County Social. He already had made a shirt and it says, "Go Frost yourself." So I think we're going to start seeing some of those shirts come to light here in the upcoming season. But officially, the Spurs have finally decided to say, you know what? This is the name of the former AT&T Center, now going to be known as the Frost Bank Center. And they're going to go ahead and start to begin with, updating the signage around the arena and probably on the outside as well to take down the AT&T logo and put up the Frost logo. I like the Frost logo, man. I think it's nice and clean,
It is. I hope we get rolling to do every time in the fourth quarter, Frost Bank time, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. And they should put the number, right, that you call, the 210-226-3232. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
From back in the day. Hey, man, we got to give some love real quick here to one of our sponsors, and that would be the one and only MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leha over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And thank you for being a sponsor of this show. Yeah, man, make sure you do reach out to our boy over here, Christopher Leha of MCS General Contracting. They are known to have the hardest concrete in the business. Rudy Diamond Heart is what he says.
Diamond Heart, rock hard.
Rock hard.
Hard.
Look at Mike Baez. Shout out to Jimenez on the shirt idea. Hell yeah, dude. That was badass that he came up with that. And we got another comment. Randy Rogers watching us from Always on the Road. What's up, Randy? He says, I know it's Spurs crazy, but the SAFC game this week is huge. That it is, man. And I was out there last week enjoying the SAFC game. So a lot of great people out there, by the way, too. I had a great time, man, enjoying the libations at the tailgate, indulging in some beer. And then I was hanging out at the outdoor bar that they had right there on the other side of right behind the goalpost on the other side of the field. So it was a good time. But let's go ahead and talk about UTSA football, Rudy. UTSA has a huge game coming up, man. And they've already suffered 2 losses in a row. What do you think that this game coming up against Tennessee, it's 23 ranked Tennessee. It's going to be happening tomorrow at 3 p.m. Is this a must win this early on in the season for UTSA to keep their bowl games alive?
Well, it's a must win, but because Tennessee ended up losing to Florida recently, it's more of a must win for them. Right now, I fully expected UTSA to be 2-1, 3-0 going into this game. I figured it was going to be one of the games to watch. Figured college game day would be there, all that stuff, because it's just talked about. But UTSA has struggled out of the gates, and it's a game where, you know what, you're looking and you're fighting, you're crawling, you're scratching, looking for something to go right with your season right now. This could be it. Now, I'm not saying, we got Frank Harris, who's definitely not healthy right now. He's playing a little injured there. I don't think they've made an announcement yet who's going to be starting quarterback, but you're going into the Tennessee environment, and it's going to be a tough game. If they were 2-1, Joe, 3-0, I'd say UTSA has more than a fighter shot. I think I would give them a really good shot at winning this game. But now with the way that they stumbled out of the gates, you're seeing a lot of struggles on both sides of the ball. Jeff Traylor is seeing it too. This is one of those games that kind of can be a trap game for Tennessee because, like I said, you're coming off of a loss to Florida as your only loss of the year. You've got a struggling UTSA group coming in. Tennessee might be overlooking this game. And I'm going to say Tennessee's going to win this game. But I think it's going to be a little bit better showing than most people are going to give UTSA credit for. Getting this win for UTSA, if it were to happen, that's a building block, and that's something that can turn a season around for them. But going into this game, I'm going to take Tennessee to win this game, I think, rather easily. Hopefully it's not a complete blowout, but UTSA just has not looked good right now this season.
It's unfortunate, man, because I had high hopes for Frank Harris. This is going to be his last season here with UTSA, and unfortunately it's kind of ending the same way that, previous years have kind of gone for him. He gets injured, and that's just part of the game when you're playing, especially for as many years as Frank Harris has played. And he's a good quarterback when he's healthy, but that's the problem. You got to stay healthy, and it's hard to do in a full, season because you have these big guys coming at you and things just happen on the field. But the game that the UTSA Roadrunners are going to be playing against against Tennessee, UTSA is going to be receiving $1.6 million for playing at Tennessee on Saturday, per the game contract. And you can see it over here off of our boy JJ Pettis, and I'm sharing that right on the screen. You can go check him out on Twitter. Great follow for UTSA updates, by the way. It's one of the best in the business, man. And it says this is the largest guaranteed payment to date in the UTSA program history, So that's a lot of money, man. $1.6 million to play Tennessee. And what is Tennessee? Are they the Tennessee Volunteers? What are they called?
Yeah, the Tennessee Volunteers.
Volunteers, yeah. So UTSA, whether they win or lose, they're going to be seeing a hefty payday. So that's going to go over well with UTSA fans. Maybe they can go ahead and maybe someday, like, some of the guys out here are always saying they can build a stadium on campus. I don't think that'll ever happen because there's no room on the campus. Have you ever been to UTSA? But it's nice to dream. It's nice to dream, But I think they're fine playing in the Alamo Dome for now, even though it is an ugly facility on the outside to me. The inside's looking a little better with upgrades and whatnot, and I still enjoy going and watching a UTSA game. So definitely make sure you go out and visit.
You think a paint job on the Alamo Dome would do wonders?
No, man, that thing is ugly as sin from the outside. It's always been ugly since the day they erected those pillars, that hold the roof up and whatnot. Yeah. It just looks like an ugly shoebox, man. I'm sorry, bro, but it is. It's ugly, man. I mean, even people from, let's say, the people that come and visit, right, when they're going to watch an NCAA tournament, or we get a lot of people coming in from out of town, and they're like, I mean, it's just not a eye-catching facility. Inside is a little bit better. It still needs some work, and they're going to upgrade it. They're doing stuff inside with the concourse and whatnot. They're going to put more lights. They're probably going to have upgraded, big screens and whatnot being put in there. And it's going to make the experience a lot better, but it's just a little dated from the outside. I don't know what can be done to make it, kind of move into the modern era, but it's just an ugly shoebox for now.
No, I get it. And, I was a big person that complained about the dome, and I even said on the radio one time, they need to blow it up and restart from the ground up. But I mean, thinking about it, you know what? It is paid off. It does bring in money. It brings in conventions. You've got Final Fours. You got all that. I think an update would be really good for it. I just don't know how you would update it, but it's a part of San Antonio. It always will be a part of San Antonio. And I wanted to let you know I got to get off here in a second because I got to get off. But I do want to give everybody a quick idea or a quick glimpse here. This is a week 4 college football, Joe. Yeah. This is a massive college football week. This is probably you're going to see a lot of changes in the top 25 coming. You've got so many ranked games coming in. The two that I want to put out there, Rutgers and Michigan. Rutgers is very, very tough. That could be a surprise this weekend. Rutgers upsetting Michigan. Also, you got to put Texas on high alert here. Baylor's 1-2, but they did lose to Texas State, but nonetheless, it was a close loss. They ended up losing to Utah as well, but again, it was another close loss to them. They're in Baylor, so Texas needs to put on upset watch as well this week. But nonetheless, Joe, it's going to be a great college football weekend. I'll try to get to some more games on my Twitter for everybody to see, but definitely everybody enjoy the games this weekend.
Yeah, hey, man, before I let you go real quick, just give me your rundown on what you think of this Colorado game in Oregon, dude. Colorado versus Oregon. I know that's going to be a hot game as well.
Yeah, so basically, Colorado's in for a back-to-back weekend. They got Oregon and they got USC. If Colorado can pull off this game, you've got to start talking about them being close to the top 10. Not exactly in the top 10, depending on what happens on other games, but maybe in that 11, 12 rank is where you would put Colorado. Travis Hunter injury is going to really, really hurt them a whole lot. Now, we've seen Shadir Sanders do wonders for them, but if he can keep his emotions in check, you can definitely see Colorado maybe pulling off an upset. Oregon is super tough with Bo Nix, man. They are really tough. I want to say that you might see the dream season end here after 3 weeks, and Colorado probably gets the L against Oregon. But with them possibly getting the victory, that would say a lot going into next week's game with USC. Now, if they upset USC as well as Oregon, you're talking inside the top 10. You've got to make a case for them being a top 5 team. So, big weekend for Colorado. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good game, but I kind of am expecting Bo Nix and the Oregon Ducks to get it done this weekend over Colorado.
Yeah, they're not number 10 for nothing. They're a really good team. So that's a good game, man. 2:30 tomorrow. I'm going to check it out. All right, Rudy, I appreciate your time, man. Thank you for being a part of the show.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right. So there we go, man. We're going to go ahead and play another ad read. Then I'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about some Dallas Cowboy injury news that broke yesterday. Serenity Manor is an events venue located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, across from Flores Country Store, set in a historic building that is over 100 years old. You can have a baby shower, bridal showers, quinceañeras, sweet 16s, corporate events, weddings. There's an indoor and outdoor venue with a dance floor and a sand volleyball court out in the back, set under the shade of the trees, and there is beautiful lighting in the evenings. Serenity Manor is a very beautiful place that is very family oriented, and they have rotating Thursday nights. They have karaoke and game nights. They also have a bar that serves beer, wine, and margaritas. So after a concert at Flores Country Store, you can go over diagonal across the street, Caddy Corner, grab a beer, get away from the crowd, and check out the beautiful Serenity Manor. So make sure you boys check out Serenity Manor, proud sponsor of ours. They're located at 14405 Old Bandera Road, right across the street, Caddy Corner from Flores Country Store. So we had some news that broke late yesterday when I saw it, and that was some devastating news here for Dallas Cowboy fans, man. I felt sick to my stomach when I saw it. You know, I just knew instantly that the season was going to be in jeopardy for us Dallas Cowboy fans because we lost one of our better players out there in the secondary and one of our stars here on the defense, you know, Trayvon Diggs. You know, he has a torn ACL. He tore his ACL in practice. He's out for the rest of the season. And he had an injury in practice, and so did another Dallas Cowboy player as well. I forgot the name. It eludes me right now. But this was huge news. And this is the thing that's been going on with the NFL, you know, is injury. A lot of key players are getting injured. I mean, and it is what it is. It's part of the game. But this one definitely is going to hurt the Dallas Cowboys. Who else are they going to have at that cornerback position now? You know, and I believe they were talking with Jerry Jones, too, on the Fan, and they were asking him. It was on 105.3, the Fan or something like that, where Jerry Jones comes out and talks Dallas Cowboy football. And they were asking Jerry, are you going to go out and you're going to go look for somebody to fill that position? And Jerry Jones is like, we can't fill that position with anybody else because he was that good, you know? So it's going to be a long season, Cowboy fans. I think the delusional dreams that you all had of Vamos para la Super Bowl, those are gone, man. You know, it's going to be tough for the boys to really fill that cornerback position now that Trayvon Diggs is out. Well, I think the defense will still play really well. I think teams are just going to be targeting that cornerback position now. And unfortunately, you'll probably see a lot of long throws, you know, coming out of the games. And you're going to see teams going in and throwing 30, 40 yards, you know. And it's just going to be one of those things. You know, you're going to have these passes that are going to go for 20, 40, 30 yards going the other way. It's going to be hard, you know, for the defense to try to cover all that amount of real estate. I mean, you're losing somebody as fast and as athletic as Trayvon Diggs is generally, you know, going to hurt your team. And look at Chris Leal. He goes, yo, man, as much as I would say, fuck the Cowboys, the 2 injuries they got yesterday was rough as fuck. It was, man. And the same thing can happen to any fan of any team, man. Like even Christopher Lea's team, God forbid, you know, they lose somebody due to injury, man. You don't want to see that on any team. You always want to see your teams performing at their best with the full squad, you know. And again, this is tough because the window of opportunity for the Dallas Cowboys is closing. You know, Jerry Jones can't afford to pay everybody on the payroll. There's going to be some tough decisions that are going to be coming up at the end of this season. And I think this was it, you know, for the Dallas Cowboys. This was going to be their season to either finally break on through and go as far as you can go. Might not be the Super Bowl, but at least get out of the wild card, you know, round and try to move forward, maybe get into the divisional playoff round, you know. But I don't know, man. It's going to be hard for me. I don't even know what to say at this point. Mario Cavasso says, puro pinche Micah Parsons. All that matters. Micah Parsons is probably the best defensive player in the league, no doubt. He'll probably be even in the conversation, in my opinion, for MVP. But I mean, he can't win it all for the Dallas Cowboys. You need other players, and that cornerback position is pivotal, man. And that was a big loss for Dallas Cowboy fans. You just hope that everybody else can stay healthy and things will just, right itself at some point. Maybe other teams will get injured and things will kind of balance off. So we're just going to have that wait and see attitude, man. But man, that one really was disappointing, disheartening for me to see as a Dallas Cowboy fan. While I was at work, I'm scrolling through Twitter at the same time, and I'm like, fuck. That shit hurt, dude. I wanted to throw my phone on the floor. Oh, bro. T-Bone says, just brought a truckload of new Cowboys gear. Oh, man. Hey, bro, wear that gear with pride, brother. I got my Dallas Cowboy gear too. Whether the team wins or loses, I'm going to wear it, man. But it's going to be a tough one for Cowboy fans once again, bro. So just enjoy what we can. Every little win is a victory, small victory for Cowboy fans. But before we start moving on again, I got to go ahead and do another ad read here. So we're going to go ahead and give some love to our boy over here, Jeff Garcia of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Locked On Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@Locked On Spurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. Yeah, make sure you do go give some love to our boy Jeff Garcia. He's probably one of the best in the business. Make sure you go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, where again you can go ahead and see the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. And also go ahead and check out Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So we're going to have another weekend of NFL games. But before we start getting into, kind of giving our take on what games we're going to really want to see, what's going on in the AL West here? We got to give some love to the puro pinche Astros a la verga, the way that my boy Christopher Leja says it. So we're going to go ahead and look at the latest standings here about what's going on. And the AL West, this is the latest. You still have the Houston Astros at the top of the division at the AL West, and you still have Seattle and Texas follow closely behind the Astros. Only a game is separating everybody. This is nuts, man. I mean, I've seen some races here, in the AL West before, and things get a little close. And this is probably one of the better AL West races to end the season as I've ever seen before. You had a lot of highs and lows, and you had Rangers fans talking all this shit earlier in the year that they're going to run away with it. Houston looking like it was going to fall off. Then the Astros started winning. The Rangers started choking. Seattle started winning and got hot. They were at the top of the division. Now things are kind of leveling off again, and you got the Astros at the top of this division. It's just going to all boil down to whoever finishes the season the strongest is probably going to win this division, and the loser is going to have to be delegated to the wild card round, and that's just a tougher road to the World Series. But I'm sorry, Chris, man. I hope that your Astros do pull through here and are just able to run away with it. I don't really care for the Texas Rangers after that shit that they pulled way back when during the hurricane and whatnot. But we'll just see how everything it's going to go ahead and just end at the end of the season here, and where the chips are going to fall where they may. But I'm kind of rooting low key now for the Houston Astros, man. They've kind of been like the underdog, and they kind of been able to sneak in here and play good, and they've been able to go ahead and get into the league right here in the AL West. So kind of pulling for them. I'm not an Astros fan by nature. I'm a Red Sox fan. Here we go. Christopher Leja, puro pinche Astros a la verga. That race is tighter than Nat's asshole. 0.5, Randy Rogers, a game. Only because Stros have played one more. Yep. This is a tightly contested race here, man. That's all I can say about that. But you do have some NFL games coming up over here on the weekend. So we'll go ahead and show some of the games that are going to be coming up here before we start closing out the show. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you boys. And here we go. So we have some games coming up, and one of the games, of course, is going to be the Dallas Cowboy game. But games that I'm actually wanting to see that I think they're going to be interesting to me. I want to kind of check out that Chargers Vikings game. I think that's going to be an interesting game to see, in my opinion. Broncos Dolphins, I think that's just going to be a bloodbath. I think the Dolphins are just going to run all over the Broncos. Titans Browns game, that one could be interesting. I'm not going to lie, that one could be interesting. Bills and Commanders game, okay. You got the Colts and the Ravens, and you have the Patriots and Jets. I think the Patriots are just going to run away with that one. Seahawks and Panthers. Seahawks should win that game, but again, you just never know what can happen. And here's the trap game of the week for me again. You got the Cowboys and Cardinals. Cowboys losing Trayvon Diggs. They will be playing the Arizona Cardinals. I just hope that the Dallas Cowboys do not revert back to the Dallas Cowboys of old. I want to say that the boys will win, but I'm just not even gonna say anything. I'm just gonna go and watch the game, and hopefully they get the dub. Then you have the Steelers and Raiders, Eagles and Buccaneers. This is gonna be a good game. I'm gonna watch that one. I'm kind of excited to see that one, even though I hate the Eagles with a passion because I'm a Cowboys fan. And then you got the Rams and the Bengals. So you got some games, man, and that's going to finish off your week there. You know, basically you have the 2 Monday night games, which is the Eagles and Buccaneers and Rams and Bengals. I'm probably gonna have to have both screens on at the same time watching both these games, but I'm still gonna be watching the Eagles and Buccaneers probably on the main screen. So I'll give the little real estate to the Bengals and Rams. That's going to be interesting to me only because Joey Burrow still is 0-2. So maybe he can right the ship here and get the first win of the season for the Bengals. It'd be devastating if they go ahead and start the season 0-3. But let's go ahead and play the last ad read here before we go ahead and close out the show. JPAR Real Estate has been a proud sponsor of ours since day one. Check out Cynthia J. Sanchez. Her reviews can't be wrong because all of the people that she sells homes to, they give her 5 stars and say that she is prompt, that she is understanding, that she communicates well, that she calls back, that she answers questions correctly. And yes, they say that she is good at what she does. If you are in the market to buy a home, sell a home, whether it be a rental property, primary residence, or Airbnb, reach out to Cynthia J. Sanchez from JPAR Real Estate. Her number is 210-273-0748. She has 16 years of experience in real estate and is a former claims adjuster with USAA. So she knows what she's looking for when she's showing you those pre-owned homes. Give Cynthia J. Sanchez a call at 210-273-0748 for all your real estate needs. Yeah, so make sure you do contact Cynthia J. Sanchez. She is really good at what she does. And if you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or even get into a rental property, she's your gal. Call her at 210-273-0748. And we got another comment here before we go ahead and shut this show down for the day. They brought another QB in. That's what Randy Rogers says. So his injury might be more than previously thought. Ugh. And look at that. Tim Gonzalez says, Cowboys home game. Right there, Joe Garcia. And we got to share this too. I mean, we're going to talk about this when Mike comes back onto the show on Monday. And this is going to break his heart, man. I hope he's not watching right now. He's got a big thing for Taylor Swift, man. And we're talking about Travis Kelce. And Travis Kelce went ahead and said on the Pat McAfee show, he says to Taylor Swift, I've seen you rock the stage in Arrowhead, and you might have to come see me rock the stage at Arrowhead, meaning that, hey, come over here to one of my games. He's putting the ball in her court, and there's rumors are going around that these two are dating. Sorry, Skip Mendes, but it looks like your gal, she caught the scent of a worthier buck. Lord, here we go with Jeff. Joe, why is it gloom and doom for Dallas? Is that one player that's pivotal? He's one of the better corners in the league, man. And if you want to go ahead and stop the, those long passes going down the field and, having players break out for long yardage plays, I mean, he's one of the instrumental players that you have to have on the defensive end. If the Cowboys are having a hard time stopping the run, I mean, you got to be able to combat something. So if you can't stop the run, which they've been playing a lot better with they've been getting that under control. So they've been able to stop the run. The next asset or the next facet of the game is stopping those long yardage passes, and without your one of your star players out there, the corner, who's going to go ahead and fill that position? There's nobody that's going to do as good of a job, So to me, that's just one of those pivotal positions that the Dallas Cowboys, they needed him. I mean, they cannot do without Trayvon, So I don't know, man. I'm on the fence, bro. I'm willing to give the next guy up a chance and see what he can bring, and hopefully he can hold it down. But I don't have much stock in them right now, So and the person who's gonna go and take the helm for Trayvon. So we'll just have to see, man, how good do the Cowboys look at that position come Monday against a really bad Arizona Cardinals team. And let's face it, the Arizona Cardinals have no business beating the Dallas Cowboys. But again, this is a trap game. So we're either going to see that the Cowboys are going to barely win, or the Arizona Cardinals are going to look like world beaters. And I hope that does not happen. Oh, I forgot about this too. I didn't know. Jeff just told me. Thanks for letting me know, Jeff. He says that the Locked on Spurs podcast that we recorded yesterday just went live. So I'm going to make sure I share that. And the other thing is, just full disclosure here, when we were recording this, I was at work. So if I sound a little distracted, I was working at the same time that I was doing the podcast. So I was multitasking. I was taking in some emails that I had to answer back and help our clientele. And I was doing this Locked on Spurs podcast at the same time. So I have two desks right next to each other. I have a really long desk, but I have two working stations. So I have this other working station that I'm working on, doing my 9 to 5. And right next to me is the other computer that I have where I do video editing and I do podcast, good guest segments, just like I'm doing with Jeff for Locked on Spurs. So I'm kind of like transitioning back and forth. So make sure you go and check that out. It's out already. Jeff just released it. And we're answering some questions that Spurs fans had because they were, let's say, leaving comments in Jeff Garcia's YouTube channel over there with Locked on Spurs. So we kind of answered some of their questions, and it was a fun episode. I liked it, but it went pretty fast because I was at work. So full disclosure there. So make sure you go and check that out. I'm going to be sharing that here shortly. And Randy Rogers says, starting nod probably goes to Bland. Tex-Mex Frank, my tia is on the way to Dallas to rub a huevo on Trayvon. Hey, man. Sana colita de rana, man. Whatever you got to do, put the Vicks on him, say a prayer, rub the egg, do what you got to do, man. Get your grandma out there to go and say a prayer for him. Something, man. Hopefully he'll get better and he'll be come back at 100% next season. But this is going to be a tough season for Cowboy fans because they lost one of their pivotal pieces there in Trayvon Diggs. So that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Locked on Spurs podcast. I'm Locked on Spurs on the Alamo City Sportscast because I'm looking at the graphic at the same time of Locked on Spurs. Well, anyway, that's all the time we have for the Alamo City Sportscast for today's episode. I hope everybody has a great weekend. Should be another great weekend of sports. Go UTSA, go Longhorns, go Cowboys. And I'm going to even say, go Astros a la verga for Chris Leja. I'll see you boys later. We're out. Peace.